Mario, the first character introduced into Super Smash Bros. Throughout his time in competitive Smash, Mario has experienced some ups and downs in terms of his viability. Sometimes, the gameplay engine forces him into obscurity, whereas other times, it highlights his core gameplay and cements him as a solid character. While Mario has the potential to be amazing, he also has the flaws to be walled out, and his status in each Smash game depends on how well the movement, combos, and other characters allow him to play to his advantages. Throughout the past 5 Smash games, Mario has been working his way through the tier lists and has been trying to become as famous in the Smash competitive scene as he is in the video game world. Today, we will be analyzing his moves, results, strengths, and weaknesses as we take a deep dive into Mario as a Smash Bros. Fighter. Mario's strengths have stayed fairly consistent throughout all the 5 Smash games. The 2 main aspects that he excels in are his ability to combo and to edgeguard. As for his comboing ability, Mario is seen as the vertical combo character. With a combination of quick aerials and low end lag moves, Mario is great at keeping his advantage state throughout the duration of a match. Whether it be his famous up air, which can be comboed into from down throw, nair, or other up airs into a finishing up B, or his up tilts in Smash 4, which could combo opponents for about 30%, Mario's combos are the main aspects of the gameplay. Other than that, Mario is able to excel in edgeguarding. Mario can gimp other players with his back air strings off the stage, or his fair spike, which is not only useful for styling on the opponents, but also has actual use in games. He also has Cape and Flood to prevent characters from recovering, sometimes even without leaving the stage himself. He can also use fireballs off stage to limit other characters' mobility and gimp them that way. Overall, these 2 aspects make up Mario's playstyle, but that does not mean it is easy to set up for situations where his strengths are on full display. Range and recovery have never been Mario's strong suit. Most of Mario's moves involve kicks or punches, and seeing how Mario does not have very long arms or legs, the area in which he can hit the opponents is very close to his body. Characters who rely on swords or other ranged attacks generally can wall him out effectively. It is difficult for him to get past their onslaught of aerials or tilts, and can be kept at bay as he cannot approach and continuously gets hit himself. Mario is also not the best against zoners. While he does have a cape in order to reflect projectiles, Mario still has trouble getting in on these characters, as he is more focused on dodging their moves than hitting those of his own. The other weak part of Mario's moveset is his recovery. Other than his double jump, he only has his up B to get him back to the stage. He can get through some edgeguarding attempts with his aerial cape to stall his fall, but this is not enough to easily get him back to the ledge. He could, in the earlier games, also use his down B to gain vertical distance, but that was removed in later iterations. He has a very honest kit in a game where gimmicks are quite prevalent. While his moves are strong and make him a good character, he also has trouble getting into his advantage state.
As the first Smash Bros. Game came out, Mario, the icon of Nintendo, helped sell the N64 console and Smash 64 as well. Throughout this time, people became very familiar with the game and started to play it competitively as opposed to just casually. This, in 2008, prompted the first tier list for Smash 64's competitive scene, and Mario's placement on this tier list was quite average. His average matchup spread and competitiveness with some of the top tiers saved him from dropping below 7th place, a little under halfway. Then, in 2009 and 2011, the Smash 64 scene decided to create another tier list that would more accurately show how each character had evolved throughout the earlier Smash 64 metagame. In these next two lists, Mario jumped up 2 spots to position number 5. In 2009, he was in A tier, but in 2011, he was bumped down to B tier with the community realizing the dominance of Pikachu, who needed his own tier to himself. This raise in Mario's ranking, despite the change in tier, stemmed from his ability to keep up with characters such as Kirby, who was then ranked number 2, and Fox, who was then ranked number 3. In 2015, the 4th and current tier list for Smash 64 was created, and Mario had dropped quite a few spots. While still being in B tier, he was now ranked 7th, as both Yoshi and Jigglypuff jumped over his old placement. His skills had not been undermined, it was just that people were not playing him as much, and switching to higher tiered characters like Pikachu or Kirby. Mario's placement, however, is not representative of his matchup spread, as he beats or is even against over half of the roster, including some solid characters. Mario can combo Kirby, edgeguard Captain Falcon, and Yoshi, and can potentially hold his own against Pikachu. But his matchup chart, sadly, is just too average to compete with consistency. Sure, he can take on some characters, but only when they play to his strengths and don't abuse his weaknesses. Currently, most players have overlooked Mario, as he has fallen to almost non-existence in the meta, as most players view him as, in both his moveset and matchup, too average. Mario, as stated before, is not very well represented in the current meta of Smash 64. However, that does not mean that there are not players who used to use this character. First of all is the first major Mario main, Nintendude. Before he switched to main Fox in this game, he was a Mario main. Even though he never won any major tournaments with Mario, he was still seen as one of the best with this character in the US. Additionally, Isaiah sometimes uses Mario. Isaiah, who is able to use most characters in the Smash 64 cast well, actually placed second at Apex 2013 with Mario. But the best Mario player at Smash 64 is Caesar, who placed 9th at Shine 2009 with Mario, and has a history of success with the character. Currently known as the best Mario in the United States, he is working to push the Mario meta and help bring Smash 64 Mario out of its competitive averageness. Mario, in the change to Melee, kept his same playstyle. However, there were a few moveset alterations that gave him new tools for better or for worse. First of all was the addition of an up and down throw. While not in his first appearance, these two throws in Melee and beyond became a vital part of Mario's kit, as they gave him a much greater combo ability. On top of all of these other changes, two of Mario's moves from Smash 64 were changed, his forward smash and forward air. The forward smash was changed from a large punch to a fireball in front of Mario, and the forward air was changed to his famous spike. Both of these new moves can be viewed as beneficial to Mario, but he did lose some important aspects from his game in Smash 64. Other than changes to his moves, there were global changes in Melee that caused Mario to have some ups and downs along his transition from his first to second iteration in Smash. The global change that was the most beneficial to almost all of the cast, especially Mario, was the increased speed that Melee had over Smash 64. This increase in speed and overall mobility allowed Mario to follow up on his combos, an essential part to his game plan. In addition, his recovery got some tweaks that both improved and diminished it. On the positive, Mario gained the ability to wall jump and use his cape off stage to his advantage. This wall jump greatly increased Mario's vertical recovery distance on certain stages with walls, such as Yoshi's, and his cape allowed him to stall in the air and reduce the linearity of his recovery, so it became harder to edgeguard him. Also, Mario's down B, the tornado, when mashing B, gave him a lot more height compared to Smash 64. On the negative, Mario lost a bit of distance on his up B, the super jump punch, which obviously made his recovery worse with a decrease in distance. At the beginning of Melee's competitive lifecycle, Mario was seen as a top-tier character due to his easy-to-learn playstyle and long combos. Therefore, when the first ever Melee tier list came out in October of 2002, Mario ranked 5th, beating out characters like Peach, Ice Climbers, and Jigglypuff. However, as people started to understand Melee and realized that the roster was very polarizing in a competitive setting, Mario started to slowly fall. In the next tier list, only a month after, Mario had dropped to 6th, and continued dropping all the way down until the 9th tier list in 2008, where he was ranked 14th, under characters like Donkey Kong and Ganondorf, who were believed to be much worse than him at the start of the game. In 6 years, Mario had dropped from a high tier to a low tier. Similar to the Smash 64 tier lists, Mario's drop was not due to a glaring weakness, but newfound strengths of other characters. His game was not bad, but in a game with Rest, Shine, and Marth's range, Mario's all-around assets were not broken enough to compete with the top tiers. Mario ended in 15th place on the current tier list, with very few players consistently using him competitively. He ranks solidly in the low-mid tier alongside Ganondorf, Young Link, Donkey Kong, and Link. These characters, while not bad, just do not have the moves or abilities to compete with the viable characters in such a polarizing game as Melee. This means that Mario's spot on the tier list, for the time being, is mostly irrelevant. Unless someone finds something broken about him that counters top tiers, Mario is stuck in competitive Melee obscurity for the foreseeable future. As for results with Mario, there are two main people who either have driven or are currently driving the Mario metagame forward. The first is Matt Deasy, known as the founder of competitive Melee, or Smash in general. He, when the competitive scene was in its early days, made Mario. At the time, this was not unheard of, as Mario was ranked highly on the tier list, and was known as a good character. While he only played in tournaments of 7 or 8 people, Matt Deasy did well as such in his own Tournament Goes, where he placed 3rd, or at the Northwest Regionals, where he placed 2nd. From his accomplishments in these tournaments, Matt Deasy was known as the best Mario, partially because of his skill, and partially because there was no one to challenge him. Throughout the years after this, Mario, as mentioned earlier, became more obscure and lost to time. But one player has been trying to show that Mario can place well, and his name is A-Rookie. A-Rookie, known as the current best Mario, had done well recently with the character. A-Rookie got 9th at both MomoCon 2019 and DreamHack Atlanta 2019, and a 17th at CEO Dreamland 2020. However, he no longer plays that much due to allegations in the summer of 2020. On top of that, Mango had even used Mario under the name Scorpion Master, but just to mess with the community. Other than that, Mario does not have much representation and lets players who use him try to drive his meta and help him improve in the Melee scene. Just as how Melee introduced new moves into Mario's moveset, Brawl did the same. Both Mario's down B and down air were changed to represent his character better. The new down air has Mario spinning around in the air, similar to his old tornado down B move. While this replaced his downward drill kick, it did give him more of a combo potential, since this move gives him a better air game. While it holds a completely different importance from the former move, the new down air was, overall, a positive addition to his moveset. Not only did Mario get a new down air, but a new down B as well. Mario exchanged his old tornado move for Flood. Flood greatly increased Mario's edgeguarding game, since it used a windbox-like effect to push people away from the ledge, and helped in easily gimping characters with poor recoveries. This did mean that Mario lost a vital part to his recovery as his tornado lifted him upwards, but in the end, his kit became more suited to his personal playstyle. While he was not the best in Melee, the game's mechanics allowed him to do this, as he could wave dash to quickly move around the stage and avoid other characters' hitboxes. This newly reduced mobility in Brawl, however, was one of the biggest reasons he dropped in the tier list so hard, because he could not get in on his opponents as easily. His air mobility also decreased, and that worsened his combo follow-ups, because it became difficult to catch and hit his opponents in a true combo with his slower speed. Another negative aspect in the switch between games was Brawl's lessened hit stun and the ability to hit stun cancel. These changes hurt Mario in his transition, as combos were more difficult to impossible to perform with less hit stun, as he needed to be faster to catch up to his opponents before they could jump or air dodge out of his combos. But with his decreased mobility, this was quite hard for Mario. Yet another big change that affected Mario in the switch between games was his loss of a chain grab. In Melee, Mario used up throws and down throws to chain grab a lot of characters in the cast, such as Fox, Falco, and Sheik. Even though chain grabbing is still very prevalent in Brawl, Mario does not have one like he did in Melee. This was a detriment for him, as it was one of the only ways that Mario could take down some of the top tiers in Melee, but in Brawl, he could not do anything against, well, mostly Meta Knight. Other than this, he got a huge decrease in KO power, and most of his finisher moves, like smash attacks, were weakened significantly. Those nerfs in Mario's appearance in Brawl cemented him as a low-tier character in this game, as he did not have the speed, combo potential, kill power, or range to compete with the broken top tiers. Out of all of the versions of Mario, Brawl's is by far the worst. Similar to his status in Melee, Mario is just too average, or in this case, below average, to work. Right off the bat, with the first tier list, he was ranked in low tier, placing 29th out of the 37 characters. The aspects that boosted him up a little bit in the earlier tier list of Melee, the ability to pick him up and play him, did not help Mario in the early meta of Brawl. As mentioned before, Mario's especially low mobility compared to Melee did not allow him to do the things he should have been the strongest at: combos. From then on out, Mario jumped around the 27th to 30th range, before being placed at 31st in 2010, the fourth iteration of Brawl's tier list, and staying there since. Unlike Melee and Smash 64, Mario was not good enough to be given a chance to rise up in the meta, and became almost unplayable from very early on in the game's life cycle. Even though his numerical rank did not change, his tier did. After low tier, he was put into the F tier, but his placement did not change greatly from there. He was in E tier for a bit, as well as in G tier, but for the most part remained pretty solidly in the same spot, until where he now stands at the top of F tier, the worst tier. The main reason for this is that Mario does not do well in many of the matchups against the polarizing top tiers. Meta Knight, Marth, and Snake are three of his worst matchups, and they are all in the top 10. Other than that, he does not have a single winning matchup against anyone better than him, and only beats 4 characters: Link, Captain Falcon, Ganondorf, and Jigglypuff, 4 of the bottom 5 characters in Brawl. His first even matchup is against Sonic, who ranks 22nd, and is also essentially unviable. The combination of poor global changes and terrible matchups against top tiers made Mario into a bottom tier competitively and an irrelevant character in Brawl. While this does lead to a pretty abysmal result section for Mario in Brawl, there is just little to no data or footage of this fighter from top players succeeding or even using him in this game. From Brawl to Smash 4, Mario changed a lot as a character. He evolved from a low tier to a high one at the end of the game's competitive life cycle. One of the largest buffs that Mario personally received was the different angle of his up air. This new angle allowed for Mario to combo off his last up air into another one, which gave him his famous up air combos. From the transition of Brawl to Smash 4, 3 global changes greatly affected the Mario meta almost equally. First was the increase to Mario's air mobility. Back in Brawl, Mario was slow and clunky in the air, but in Smash 4, he moved through the air with speed. This change cemented him as an aerial combo character. While good on the ground, his main goal really became to throw or hit his opponent into the air and combo them until death. His airspeed, jump height, and air dodge all increased in speed or distance, which gave him the ability to dominate in the air. Mario's combo game really began to shine in this game as well, as it became a core part of his moveset and gameplay again. However, while these new aspects helped with Mario's game, It was the addition of Rage that truly put Mario over the edge. He could, with a combination of increased air mobility, combo potential, and Rage, grab someone, string together up airs, and finish with an up B at ridiculously low percents off the top blast zone. Mario's changes from Brawl to Smash 4 were some of the greatest changes any character has ever received in all of the series between games, and was easily the best transition of his between any two Smash games. Mario's fate in Smash changed starting in Smash 4. With both the increase in his own abilities and the decrease of those of the top tiers, Mario fared better in the overall meta. In the first tier list, Mario was ranked in A tier and put at 8th place. This, obviously, was a lot better than the mid to low placements he had gotten in all the other 3 Smash games. While this tier was before the release of Corrin and Bayonetta, his placement as a solid top tier was a long time coming, and it felt good for him to finally get a spot atop the tier list. One of the main reasons that Mario rose so fast was the difference in top tiers. Sheik, Zero Suit Samus, and Rosalina and Luma were much better for Mario to fight than compared to Meta Knight and Marth, characters with large ranges. In the next tier list, just a few months later, Mario rose to 5th place, and cemented himself until the final tier list as a solid, strong, high tier. However, with the 4th and final tier list for Smash 4, some things started to change for Mario. He was not viewed as oppressive as he was in the earlier metagame. Other characters began to see more representation, and therefore jumped over his spot in the rankings. Top players were still doing really well, but other characters just seemed better. The debate began whether Mario deserved to keep his spot as a top tier. The answer came in the last tier list, where Mario was ranked 9th place in high tier. Even though he dropped 4 spots, there were 58 characters in the game, and he was, for the first time in any Smash game, ranked above 50% of them. While Mario's representation and results declined as the life of Smash 4 did, he, for the first time, became an actually good competitive character. Mario's representation in the 4th game in the series was unlike any before, as he had true top players maining him. There were 2 true players that pushed Mario's meta and turned him into the character he became in Smash 4. One of these was Ally. With a win at EVO 2016 and other tournaments, he really pushed the Mario metagame and was ranked 5th overall in Smash 4. Another player that did the same was Anti. Ranked 14th overall, he contributed wins at CEO 2016 and a 2nd at the Big House 6. These 2 players helped evolve Mario and make him into the top tier he is known as in Smash 4. Throughout the swap from Smash 4 to Ultimate, Mario has been one of the high tiers that's pretty much stayed in the same position that he was before. While there are slight differences to hitboxes and frame data, none of his moves were changed, and he has a very similar playstyle to before. However, that being said, he did lose one of his most infamous combos with the nerf to his up tilt. It is now no longer possible to create strings of 5 or 6 up tilts in a row from a down throw due to its different hitboxes. While there were some slight changes like this, the true changes to Mario's gameplay stem from the global changes to the entire cast of Smash Ultimate. In Ultimate, there are 4 main aspects that truly affected Mario's transition from his 4th to 5th Smash Bros. Iteration. The first of these, and probably most important, is the universal reduction of landing lag from aerials. Because Mario's up and back airs are essential parts of his neutral and combo game, the decrease in landing lag allows him to have faster options in general. Many low percent combos, which require Mario to land and regain his double jump to complete them, are much more viable because it takes less time for Mario to get back into the air, and he can now follow his opponents better to extend his combos. Mario is also able to throw out more aerials in neutral, with less of a risk of being grabbed or hit, since he can quickly get back on his feet from a fast fall in aerial. This is one of the largest changes to Mario's game, as his heavy reliance on aerials is complemented by the new engine. Alongside this, the overall increase in speed of the game greatly helps Mario in the same areas. With increased movement, Mario has follow-ups on his opponents, even if the combo he is performing is not true. Due to his increased movement, he can catch up and hit them anyways. The final buff is the addition of a directional air dodge. While it is not the best option for recovering, as it leaves the door wide open for other characters to read and punish it, It helps Mario in one of his biggest problems, recovery. While his up B, super jump punch, is a fine recovery option, it is very linear, and once knocked off stage, it is obvious the path that Mario is going to take to grab the ledge. With the addition of a new directional air dodge though, Mario becomes less susceptible to gimps and edge guarding, and his recovery options are not as linear as before. As for a more negative change, there was a great reduction of rage to the transition into Smash Ultimate. One of the key aspects of Mario's moveset was the ability to combo people off the top blast zone with up B kills after a slew of up airs. Rage, at certain percents, would allow Mario to kill very easily off the top, but with the reduction in Smash Ultimate of the power of range, he does not have that strong of a punish game, but that is not to say he cannot kill off the top quite easily. While it is not as much of a detriment to his game as other characters, this still hurts him enough for it to be noticeable. While there is not an official tier list, as Smash Ultimate is 2 years and a few months old, there is a fairly established idea of what tiers characters should lie in. As for Mario, he is generally regarded as a high or top tier. At the beginning of Ultimate's life cycle, most people thought that Mario was going to keep most of his beneficial aspects, but not be as good as he was in Smash 4. However, as time went on, his rankings and the top players' understanding of his fundamentals changed due to more character representation as he went up on almost everyone's tier lists. Originally believing he started somewhere out in high tier, pro players seem to believe that Mario has been on the rise, and some think he is coming close to or even in the top tier. However, his flaws of range and recovery are keeping him in the question, as most top tier characters have enough range to wall out other opponents. In the online era, Mario's status has dropped a little, but he is still a great character. Since his combos are fairly easy to perform, he has more trouble with neutral and starting combos than the actual combos themselves. While he did decrease in the rankings, he is still very viable both online and offline. The reason that Mario's metagame has been kept the way it is due to Dark Wizzy. Currently ranked 22nd on the PGR, he has almost single-handedly developed how to play Mario in Smash Ultimate. The way in which Dark Wizzy has done this is through a use of Mario's insane combo game. Once hit, Dark Wizzy can easily rack up multiple hits, potentially leading to death. He also has some amazing tournament results, such as a 5th at Shine and Genesis 7, a 4th at DreamHack Atlanta, and a 2nd at Glitch 8, all with Mario. His ability to keep people in combos to death percents and finish with a reverse up smash is his signature, and he keeps advancing the meta even today. Another strong Mario player is Prodigy, who even has an insane win over MKLeo. To conclude, Mario's story in Super Smash Bros. Is one of redemption. While his moves may lack range, he makes up for it with his great combos. While his recovery may be subpar, he makes up for it with a great edgeguarding game. While being seen as the beginner and easy character, with enough practice and labbing, he can become extremely oppressive and difficult to play against. The character that represents Nintendo has had a tough time getting himself on his feet in the first few games due to a slow engine, intense top tiers, and exploitable weaknesses. However, with time, he has evolved into one of the most in-your-face and oppressive characters in the game. Even though Mario has trouble getting in, when he does, it can very well result in a stock. Overall, Mario is a true pros and cons list of a character, and his placement depends on how well the game engine rewards his positives. With game engines theoretically only getting faster and rosters only getting more balanced, this means that Mario is destined to overcome his average past and see great results in the future.